quickly. Okay, so please just email them directly. So today I wanted to spend a little bit of time around getting feedback on our processes and maybe getting some feedback around what's working for some, what's not working, and if there's any way we can improve this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of what I think is happening, and then maybe if you guys can give me some feedback at the different steps to see where you think it's breaking down or what you guys are doing differently. And then, you know, we can just kind of have a chat about it. So our process around this Cre8te system is that someone will respond to an advertisement. Okay, they're either doing that through Facebook, okay, and they're commenting, Facebook or Instagram, they're commenting on the video, okay, and they're requesting more information. Okay, and when that happens, okay, we have a small team, the Cre8te Facebook team, which would then engage with them. Sometimes that user will then follow the second process of requesting more information, which is registering. Okay, so they click on the ad, they go to the landing page, they fill out the form, goes directly into the Cre8te system. Sometimes that person does both. Okay, we have more people, I believe, and I haven't looked at it, that click the link, go to the Facebook, go off to the landing page, fill out the form, go into the Cre8te system, which is what Jen then just distributes the leads, okay, through there. So we have, if we look at that second way of doing things, people are filling out the form. We are then picking up the phone, if we've got a phone number, and we're asking what got their interest in the ad, okay, why they're looking to work from home. We then send them an event, a presentation to look at, and then we're getting them on the phone and doing a follow-up, okay, to see what they loved about the event. Now, there's two different ways, I suppose, differences here. Some people are directing people to a three-way at that point, so using their upline and setting up a Zoom call. And some people are on the phone trying to close them, okay, get a customer order, get them to join the team there and then. So can I get a show of hands, because I can see most of you guys, who isn't trying to close on the phone, but who is trying to use an upline and get the Zoom set up? Who's doing that way? Ellen, Laurie, Natasha, Emma, kind of, not sure, Louise. Okay. And
sometimes depends on the person. For me.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Sorry, I just meant if they are somebody who I feel has a lot of questions and is really quite skeptical, then I'm now trying to get them on a call with you or Fee. Whereas I was trying to do it like I was trying to do it on the phone before.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Does that make sense?
Who said same then?
Jen. Yeah, I think if people have like loads of questions, then I'll try to get them on a Zoom. Some people are like super excited to get started right at the start, and are just like, yep, I want this. Tell me what I'm going to do to get started. Then I kind of like, yep, you know, take them through those steps. But then there's some people who just like, you know, you have huge conversations with them on the phone, and they're like, okay, you know, and then you're like, all right, the next step, let's set up a Zoom, and then you kind of, yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
And I'm the same, Brian, what Jen just said, very similar. Some you just get the vibe straight away that they're in, and you just know that you just close the deal right there and then. Others, you know that you need to get that upline. They want some more, I suppose, someone else to chat to also.
Okay.
And I speak to them as soon as I can after they've watched the presentation. Basically have already pre-framed that they'll have some questions and direct them to a Zoom. I'm not using my upline, but I get them on a Zoom as quickly as I can.
Okay.
So I'm not looking to close on the phone, because I thought the process was to get them on a face-to-face Zoom.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely has been the process. But I'm just trying to get feedback here and work out what's our best way forward. So Louise and Laura, you guys are, if someone's you're doing follow-up and then moving straight to upline, three-way?
Yeah, unless I can't get in with Fiona, then I'll do a Zoom by myself. But majority of the time I'll have a Zoom with Fiona.
Okay. Louise?
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. Majority of the time I'll try for a 3-way, or if Fiona's diary's booked, I'll try and do it myself.
Okay. Anyone else got any feedback on that, or how they're doing it a bit differently maybe, or?
I can share what I did last month for the 3 that I got over the line.
Please.
So I changed the way I did it for the whole month, and every time I jumped on the call, I was at least getting a customer order before I got off the phone. Well, like at least trying to, unless they didn't want to. But pretty much all the calls like that I did last month, I got a customer order in the system. None of them joined then and there though, because they were still hesitant and they all wanted their own results. So I did take their information, but I didn't add them to the system until I processed their franchise on the last day of the month, because that's when they chose to. So I just treated them like a customer all month, added them to the JBT program, spoke to them that way, and then I did the phone call at the end of the month, obviously touch base all that last week, and then pop them in the system, and still to do their Zoom this week with them, that Start Strong call. So
Renelle, I know we spoke a little bit about that. There was one that you sent the game plan chat to in between customer order and was that one of those 3, or was that someone else?
No, so that was somebody else. Yeah, that's right. So I hadn't done a phone call, only done a phone call with one of them, and sent them a game plan chat, and then had a follow-up call at the end of the month with her. So she hadn't ordered any product or anything. And she pulled a pin like right at the end. And I asked her, I said to her, is that because the game plan chat overwhelmed you? And she come back and she said yes. And the only reason why I asked that question, because a previous teamie had said that game plan chat in the beginning overwhelmed me, and I nearly didn't say yes to the business.
Yeah. And we spoke about that. I don't know if there's any conflicting process out there, but you shouldn't be using, I don't think, and getting feedback like that. That game plan chat is too overwhelming unless they're committed to this business and they're in a frame of mind of wanting to know more and learning more, not a sales stage. You know what I mean? Where you're trying to inspire someone. So that game plan chat, I think, can work after a Start Strong call. Okay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, starting our mums stronger. But yeah, so Renelle, the 3 people that you had, are these off the Facebook comments also, or these?
Yep, off the Facebook comments. And so I had spoken to Jenna about that, and I said, what is she doing different? And the thing that she was doing different was getting a customer order in the system before she hung up that phone. So I'd sent the presentation, then we had organised a talk. On that talk that I did with them, I got their details then and there to place their order as a customer. Yeah. And then if they were willing, then they messaged me their details for signing up to the business, because obviously they were interested in that as well. But none of them wanted to sign up then and there for the business. They were still a little bit hesitant, and they wanted to wait till the end of the month, just so that they had some time to get their product and get on it and see what the results were themselves. Yeah. But yeah, the difference this last month was placing a customer order before I hung up the phone, pretty much.
Sorry. Okay.
Keep going. Well, I was going to ask them now, because I know, so there's, Jen has had some pretty good success recently with getting people committed straight after watching the event and getting the customer order out of them on that phone call, that follow-up phone call. So Renelle, and I know Jenna's not on here unfortunately, but I know you and Michelle have spent some time with her about that. Is there anything you can add to that on what her process or her mentality around it is?
So she did say when I spoke to Jenna, she did say that she did spend a bit of time with them. So after they had watched the presentation and then she got on the phone with them, she did have 45 minutes to an hour with them to really get to know them, connect with their why and what they wanted this to be for them and what their day looks like do they do meal plan or not, are they in the kitchen, all those health questions as a customer, I guess, but also as a business. So she spent a lot of time connecting with them, which I wasn't previously. I was on and off that phone within 20, 30 minutes flat after they had watched a presentation. So I did that with these people, and she just said that, you know, when she asked them about making an excited decision, she said, and they said, yeah, what do we do next? She said, well, the first thing that we do is we get your product ordered. I would recommend that you go on this and this, which is obviously the premium, the 120. And that's what I was doing. And all of mine went on that, except for one, I think, got the 60 complete and the premium. But literally doing their order then and there, or at least writing down their details to, you know, pop it in the system. But yeah, she just spent time building that rapport, building that relationship, asking good quality questions around who they were and what they did throughout the day. And she did say that she had a lot of certainty, and that had shifted for her since she had come back from conference. So she just said, you know, like she just went in there and she was really certain and stuff. So whereas I found prior to this month, I was really wishy-washy. I started strong, so I'd come into the conversation really strong, and then the minute they started hesitating, then I'd start hesitating, and towards that last 10-15 minutes, I pretty much just let them go. Like they'd be like, okay, well, I'll think about it, or I'll ask my husband, or I'll check my bank account, or I'll get back to you. And that's where I lost confidence, and then all of a sudden we had nothing left. Whereas this time I was asking questions, thanks to Jenna as well, by asking questions around, oh, what do you think your husband would say? Or shall I touch base next Thursday when you get paid? You know, we can future date it. Or so just a lot more direct, but still nice, I guess. Hope that's helpful. I think that's all she said.
Definitely, very helpful. I know, Michelle, you spent some time with her. Is there anything you wanted to add to that?
So another thing is that when she would say, and I used this as soon as I spoke to her and started 2 people within a week. So after you've said, you know, the first thing, when they say, oh, what is the first thing, how do we get started? First, we'll get your order in and we'll get your products to you. And then we send the franchise form to them and say to them, just fill in your franchise form. And once you get that back to me, I can plug you into the system. And again, I did this with mine. And then we'll activate your franchise once you get your next customer, or it's the end of the month, whichever comes first. And that way you're telling them that you're getting their business started. Like they're going to start their business off really strong, and you're excited to plug them into the business today, so that you're building from today. It's not like, oh, I'll see how you're feeling at the end of the month if you like it. It's like, yes, let's get your business, get the ball rolling today. And I know that there was I had stopped doing that because I know that we kind of all discussed that we wouldn't add them into our team page and the getting started guide until they put, you know, we actually physically put their franchise in. But by getting their franchise form from them, that is a big commitment from them as well.
Yeah, it is.
What are your thoughts around that?
Well, the downside of that is they still don't have a franchise. They can still start doing social media posting. They can still find a friend down the road that's doing Juice Plus and make a decision to go, you know what, I think I'd like to work with someone in the local area. Okay. And
so that happened with one of the 4. Yeah. That's what happened to me. I didn't put the one of the 4 in the system. Like I put her in the system, but I hadn't processed anything. And she rang and she said, don't process that. I don't want to go ahead now. And I was like, are you serious?
Yeah. So this is the thing. So this is, I mean, my advice around that, and it's actually probably more of a guideline because there's significant cost in bringing on these leads. Okay. So by the time we convert someone, it's $100 to $300. Okay. So in the back of my mind, letting someone come into our team pages that hasn't made a financial commitment yet, apart from being a customer order, that can move anywhere. We all know a customer can go from us to somewhere else. Comes into our team pages, learns our IP, starts doing social media posts. When they do their first social media post, a friend down the road or an old school friend or whatever reaches out and says, oh, you're doing Juice Plus, so am I. That's amazing. We're local. Why don't we hang out? And then make a decision to go with that person. Okay. And that's at significant financial cost to us, but also time cost to you. Okay. So my belief around this is that if they're ready to go, okay, they're ready to go, okay? Like I was, okay? When I joined this business, it was there and then, let's do this. Kira and Adam said to us, no, we'll put your franchise in at the end of the month. A day later, we're like, no, that's crap. We want to go right now, okay? Because we had enough certainty that this business was for us and we were ready to rock. Now, I don't mind saying, put your customer order in now, and I'm going to put your franchise in at the end of the month. But they're not getting started until the end of the month either then, okay? They're a customer until the end of the month, like Ronelle just spoke about. There's a big difference here, and I think we need to be very clear about it. You're a customer or you're a business builder, and if you're ready to go, if you've come through Mummies on a Mission, you've responded to a business advertisement. Let's not remember that. Let's not forget that. Not a customer order, customer advertisement. You're here because you've got your why is that you don't want to go back to work or you want to retire your husband or whatever it is. It's business, okay? So my thoughts are you were getting that customer order on the phone, okay? And if you can get that franchise on the phone, we're ready to get the franchise on the phone. If not, it's at the end of the month. You let them be the customer for the first couple of weeks, but at the end of the month, they're becoming a business builder. And that's when their business journey starts, okay?
Just a question. I actually don't tell them that I'm not putting their franchise through. So I have their details there.
Yeah.
And it's not until they say, how do I put a customer order through? Because I know how fast a franchise processed unless it's the weekend.
Yeah.
I'll then explain it to them. Is that incorrect? Because you know, I don't know what like speed they're showing. So they're committed and I said I'll process it, but they don't know when.
I think it's probably better. It's a better situation, a better option than saying I'm going to process it when you have your first customer or at the end of the month. The thing is too around this buying a business in Australia, there's a 24-hour cooling period, maybe even longer. So even if they buy a franchise today, they can call head office and say I've made the wrong decision and the franchise is cancelled. Okay, so we've got all that too. And what we've had happen to us recently is that someone's bought a franchise, slept on it overnight, called head office being upset, cancelled the franchise, and actually it wasn't cancelled, it was just moved to someone in Western Australia under another team outside of Freestyle, outside of Spirit, because they realised 3 years ago they learned about the Juice Plus product at an antenatal course that Tamara Hunter was running, and some reason thought that they should be going with them and not us. You know, so, and head office moved them. So that's the sort of stuff we're dealing with all the time. Okay, so from my point of view, we want these people that are ready to go, and there's commitment, and this is a business decision, and we're moving forward. And yes, we can support them as much as possible and say, let's get your customer order in now, and we're going to put your franchise in at the end of the month, but they're not in our team pages, and you're not getting them started until the end of the month. Okay, we want skin in the game. Okay, we want them to make that decision before we start overwhelming them with getting started. Okay, because remember that, especially if you start tagging you in the getting started guide, okay, and then they start jumping on training, and then they start doing all these things, man, their head is exploding. They haven't made a financial commitment yet, so they're not even in the game really. It's just too easy for them to pull a pin, okay? So I think we just need to make it very clear, okay? You're a customer until you've bought your franchise, and when you bought your franchise, we are rocking this and we are getting started, and it's a business decision, and let's move forward, okay? And yes, there's going to be some people that it might not work for, but at the end of the day, this is a business that we are building, all of us. Is there any thoughts around that, questions around that? Ellen, your position of holding on to the credit card details, it's up there. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. The problem will be, Ellen, is that, and this is my problem with, I'm going to take your franchise order and I'm going to process it when you have your first customer or at the end of the month, as in I'm going to do that. When that franchisee calls you and says, don't do it, or have you done it, you can't lie to them. You know what I mean? You're going to say, no, I haven't done it. And they're going to say at that stage, well, don't do it. And then you've lost out. Do you know what I mean? So that's the downside of that also, is that it hasn't actually happened yet. So I don't mind doing it at the end of the month, but they're a customer until then. My thoughts are around that.
Brian, just one thing I've been doing.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi everyone. I've been grabbing their franchise details and popping them in the group and just wait 24 hours before I actually process it, just to give them that little bit of head start. But again, I'm not telling them that I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just giving them, that little bit of extra time to go through things and whatnot. And I think, I agree with what you're saying, Brian, is, they have come through to a business. They want, they want to start a business. So, I look at when I started, I didn't get a head start, and I just think they're going to do that with their team. And I think all in, just get them in.
Yeah. I definitely. I mean, we want certainty. We want to be certain too, guys. We want to be, this thing is for you. This thing's going to change your life. Buy your franchise. Let's go forward. Not, it's wishy-washy. Let's do it here or there, or when you got your first customer order or whatever. What if you never get your first customer order? It's just, it needs to be certain. My advice around it. And, like that, the leg that you're in, Lauren, was all about that. It was all, you're ready to go, you buy your franchise on the same time you put your customer order in, okay? And I've seen a lot of other legs, and just looking at it from me down, I haven't seen any issues with it. Everyone's bought their franchise, committed, and went forward, and yeah.
I was just gonna say, and like if you're, allowing them that time, you say, oh, I'll put your franchise in next week or before the end of the month or whatever, and then they don't get an order, why are they going to want to join? Like, they're going to think, oh, this doesn't work. I give up,
There's lots of reasons, why I don't think that works, I suppose. The thing is, like, what Renelle has done, they're a customer until the end of the month, right? And you focused on them being a customer, not being a business builder, right? Yeah. And it's two different things. Let's not confuse this. If you're a customer, you're getting on the product, you're enjoying your product. They can talk to their friends and family about the product they're on, and they're probably going to get some customer orders that way. So when they're ready to go at the end of the month and you're talking to them about the business and you're putting the franchise through, they may have their aunt, sister, whatever that's ready to buy, which helps them get to DVF within that 10 days. The only reason this came about when I quizzed head office on it was because there were a lot of mums looking to join this business, okay, that had to go to their husbands and get approval on spending the $165 or whatever on the franchise, okay? So it was from head office coming down saying, well, look, don't buy your franchise until you have your first customer order, or don't buy your franchise until the end of the month, sort of thing, which is fine, okay? I completely understand that. And we're going to have situations where people can't afford it straight away, and we can work with that. But I think just the approach that we have when we're on that phone call, which is why I believe Jenna's having that success, and now Renelle and other people are having that success, is the intention going into that phone call is you're getting a customer order off them, okay? So in your mindset when you're making that call, you know what? I'm making this call and I'm ready to get the customer order off them, okay? And when you go in, you take that approach, you're focused on that, and then the outcome is usually that, okay? So it's not wishy-washy. It's not here just to provide information. The thing is also that is a sales call, and I want to separate these two. Okay, when we are doing follow-ups and we are following up with our prospects, that is, from my point of view, a sales call. We don't like to call it sales. It's not sales, whatever. Okay, but in my mindset in traditional business, that's sales. Okay, that first follow-up is: are you ready? What did you love about it? How do you see this working with you? Does it, tick your boxes? Are you ready to get going? Yes. The second phone call, okay, is training. The start strong is training. Please do not try and bring the two of them together. You cannot do the two of them together. You cannot follow up with a prospect about a sales call in a sales mentality where you're trying to inspire them at what this can be for them, okay, and then try and start mixing in a start strong call with them. That is completely two different things, okay? Your follow-up, once they become the customer and once they've bought their franchise and once they're in the group pages, you are doing a start strong call with them, okay? Now, that might be a change for some people because we have changed the process a long time ago, but it is a start strong call where we are going through our team mantras, We are going through keeping it simple. We are going through high-paying activities. We are going through the system. 2 separate calls, okay? So I just wanted to make that clear because I know some people are trying to do it in one call and it's not working, okay? Questions around that, feedback around that? No?
Should that Start Strong call be done as a 3-way? Like, can it be done with just me and that teamie? Or should it be done, you know, with your upline as well?
I think I think you're fine to do that. But
Okay.
I think the thing is with the Start Strong call, sometimes it's good just to bring in your upline or their upline in it, just to touch base and seeing how they're doing things again, okay? Like if you've been doing your last 10 or 15 Start Strong calls, you know, our business doesn't grow until I grow. You know what I mean? Or Renelle, your business will not grow until you grow. We all know that, okay? Mm-hmm. So the thing is, how do you grow? How do you make your Start Strong call better? Well, you learn from other people, okay? Yeah. So if everyone keeps going up the line to see what they're doing differently or talking to people, coming together as a community like this, then we're all growing, okay? Yeah. So I'm changing the Start Strong call. Like, I'm not changing it, but I'm just picking the brains of a number of people, and even some of my uplines aren't doing what we're doing, in a sense that they're just trying to do it all on the one sales call. And it's like, to me, that just does not work. Because if you think about it from starting a job, or if you think about it from buying a coffee shop, okay, one is the sales process. You sign off your $350,000. Then what are you doing? You're having another call to get started. Okay, that is the way business works. That is the way training works. And that's what we've got to do. We can't try and bring the two of them together. So Renelle, it's completely up to you. I know I'll have within hopefully the next week, the Start Strong video out. Maybe you can have a look at that. Or, you know, I don't mind doing 1 or 2 with you, just to so you can see what I'm doing recently, which I think is working.
Yep, awesome. Yeah, thank you. I had organised them with Belinda, so I had thought that it was still being done with, you know, 3 of us. But I was just unsure because obviously sometimes we can't always fit that in. And I thought, oh, I haven't even met these girls face to face yet, you know, and it's 7 days in. And so I'm like, do I just jump on and do that call? Or no, not because Belinda wasn't there. She was just sick last week. That's all. Yeah, so
I think it's awesome that the upline is involved, especially because they're seeing it, feeling a community, right?
Yeah, right.
And they're getting the sense that Renelle's not the only person in this business, that she can rely on Belinda also, you know, so that's good from that point of view. But Belinda's busy, and if you can't get it happening in those first 3 days,
then I just do it. That's fine.
Let's be certain of that, and let's go for it.
Yeah, no, I feel comfortable to do it. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I just wanted to go back to one thing that you know, what Jenna was saying about spending the 45 minutes on the phone. Okay, we don't have a connection with our prospects yet. Okay, that's the problem in this Mummies on a Mission strategy, right? They're responding to an ad. Some of them are seeing Kira on the ad and responding to it, and then Lauren's on the phone talking to them. Okay, so we've got a few issues there. Okay, no one has a connection with these people. Okay, why I think one of the reasons why the phone call that Jenna's having with these people and speaking to 45 minutes on it is that people buy us. And a big part of us is the connection that we can make with people, okay? So when you said building rapport, well, it's actually building a connection. How can I, Brian, connect with Lauren? Because when I can connect with her, she trusts me. And then it's an easier buying decision because she's trusting me and she's saying, when she makes that decision, she's got confidence in me that I have the solution to fix her problems, okay? Which is our business. All right. So building that connection is really important. Okay. And it's as important as you spend as much time on it as possible as you can. Right. Because at the end of the day, when they trust you, when they feel confident in your ability, that's when they're going to follow you and make that decision. Ellen, yep.
I'm actually trying to go the other way now because I feel like I look at Fiona. And she does my 3 ways for me. She's amazing. And she's very, you know, knows that you guys have 4 kids, but it's still pretty professional. Mm-hmm. And I've actually been racking my brain wondering if I'm not being professional enough in when I'm talking to people. Like I'm, a very personal person. Like I want to know about them and, meet them where they're at. But is there a line being too personal, like, not too personal? I'm obviously not going into like, but, I explained that I got 2 kids and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just wondering, is there a point that we're I'm being too personal where I'm losing them?
I don't think so. I think what works for Fiona is her certainty. Professionalism is part of her certainty. Because we've been through it, we know that this works. So when we speak to someone, we've got a lot of confidence that this is going to change their life. Okay. So when people are speaking to her, she's got a story. She can speak from an authoritarian position, right? Okay. So maybe that's not what's happening. I don't think there's any waste in being personal with them. Okay. But you're doing it in a positive way. Okay. Not I've been in this business a year and I'm only earning $100 a month, whatever it is. Okay. That's not giving anyone confidence that this business is a solution to their problems.
On that note, I've got a question around that.
Yeah.
I 2 parts is when they ask, may I ask how much you're earning a month?
Mm-hmm.
They say that, I joined the business being skeptical and I just gave it a go for 6 months. We were skeptical. 3 months in, I knew it could change our lives. It's been 12 months and, I talk about the future.
Hey, Ellen, you're breaking
I
up.
have to say that certainty, and they say, obviously, can you hear me better now? I don't know how much reception I've got. I'm at a park. Is that better?
Maybe. Try again.
Is that then they ask me how much money am I earning a month? So then I'm kind of, I don't want to lie to them, but I feel like there needs to be a better. I say that I'm earning residual income, but I'm just like hard to know what to say when they ask me because I'm not earning 10 grand a month yet.
Yeah. Does anyone have any feedback around that or suggestions on what they do?
No, but it's an amazing question and it's something I get stumped on as well because I'm, not earning thousands of dollars a month. I usually just say I've created a full-time income, so that can. Then they don't ask for specifics after that.
Okay,
that's what I'd say. I don't know what a full-time income is these days, but that's what I say.
Okay.
That's what I say too, Lauren. Loz. Yeah.
Yeah, I say that I created a part-time income of what I'd be earning if I went back to my corporate job part-time, but do it in extremely stolen moments, an hour here, an hour there, instead of the time I'd have to commute and all that kind of stuff.
I usually say, when I say that I've created a full-time income, I don't linger on that. I talk about how awesome my lifestyle is. Like, I'm doing that while I get to work around my kids and my family. I don't have to, I get to do all the school drop-offs, all of the pickups, just go to Auskick, whatever it is. Like, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So I think you need to kind of, yeah.
I just got a part 2 question. I think that's really good. I need to put that in my brain of info to give. Was I have a teen, she's a gun, she's a mummy on a mission lead. And I sold her with saying that, I was with my vision. And then she said, when she joined the business, can I ask you how much money you got the last month? And I didn't know how to avoid the question. And then she said to me, and she's not like, she's still a gun, and she's like, but the way that you spoke, it was like you were earning already 6 to 9 grand a month. And I didn't know how to, I don't feel like I misled her, but obviously I sold her with my vision rather than my current state, my current circumstance.
Yeah. Okay. So, and is it issues? You've got an issue at the moment with around that, or?
Pardon? I was just wondering, was that out of line in any way what I did, or is it, should I have not told her how much I did get the last month? But how do I avoid that question? Because they always say, oh, you know, it's don't have to tell me if you don't want. But then you feel like, you know.
I think it's a bit rude. Like, I don't ever disclose how much money I make, ever.
Yeah.
But can you not just revert it back to like the business models? So, you know, in the first 10 days, you can look at earning this, and then the next couple of months about this, like, because it's quite rude to be asked how much you earn, but can't you just try and divert back to where that compensation model? That's what I seem to do when they bring it up.
I'm with you, Natasha. I generally, when they bring up that question, I talk about what I earned in my first month, because I think that's, you know, it's more relatable to what is possible for them to earn within their first month rather than 6 months down the track. So I say, this is what I earned in my first month, and that's completely possible for you to do the same thing, and then take it from there. But then I go into what Michelle does and talk about how I do this around my life, around my kids, and I'm still there for all those things. So rather than saying, look, this is what I'm earning now, I talk about the first 30 days, because I think that's what they need to focus on rather than in the future.
Yeah, totally agree. Yep, totally agree.
When can I add something there too? Like, I've heard Simon Chan talk about this before, and he says, you know, give them a range. Like, if anyone's ever asked me around money, I'll just say, you know, some of the girls are earning, you know, $200 to $500 a month. Other girls are earning sort of, you know, $2,000 to $4,000, and we've got other people that are earning crazy, you know, like 20 grand a month, you know, like, you know, a lot of money. So depending on what you're willing to put into this and what your goals are, there's certainly, you know, a lot of different earning potential in there, sort of thing. That's quite often what I will say. Like, I'll give them that range.
Yeah, that's good. And like, thanks, Alex. And when Kerry, just from Canada, just added to that, I take it back to how much they're willing to put into it and tell them about promotions and bonuses. Because unfortunately, I think there's no two journeys are the same. You know, Fiona and I were able to invest a lot of time into this business, and we created a lot of success. But other people, the only difference between failure and success in this business is us, right? There's nothing else. It's all the same business. It's all the same product. It's an equal playing ground. But it's where we're at. And that old saying about, you know, and I see it now, is that our business grows while we grow, you know, and if your business isn't growing, then you need to grow, okay? But this is the thing, no two journeys are the same, okay? So I know for me, when we first started this business has never cost us a cent, and I probably don't explain that well enough on the Zooms, but to join a business and be cash flow positive from day one, from month one, is pretty crazy. It's unheard of. You know what I mean? We made $800 in our first month. And I know other people in our team now have made a lot more than that in their first month. But we had a franchise, shakes, and premium order. So from month one, we earned more than our expenses. You know what I mean? So I think you could probably use that as an example. I don't know about your journeys, if it cost you in month one. But being cash flow positive in a business, starting a business, and it's an amazing story, okay? Because you can't do that anywhere else. Where do you start a business for no cost in month one?
Totally. Can I add something in there as well too, Brian? Just whenever you talk around money, if you can share the game plan chat, you know, I mean, it's all there, $2,000 to $4,000 in your first 60 to 90 days. I mean, if they want to know how to get some money in the early days, and then I always revert to that and say, you know, I managed to hit all those bonuses and I was able to get that money that was on the table. So it's there, you know, it's there if you want it, sort of thing. I mean, that game plan chat's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we spoke about that before, Alex. It is awesome, and it does highlight the money that's on the table. But, you know, it comes at a certain time, you know, when we use that game plan chat, which we all know is after the Start Strong call. Oh, hi, Fiona. She's just... so the $2,000 to $4,000. I was on a Start Strong call the other day, and I said to her, "What's your vision? Where do you want to be in 6 months?" And she said to me, "This success to me will be earning $4,000 by Christmas." 4 or 5 months away. I'm like, boom, this is for you. I'm going to send you a game plan chart after this, and it's going to show you exactly how to make $2,000 to $4,000 in your first 60 to 90 days. Ticked her boxes, and she was already in the business, but I know that her success around this business means that all she needs to do is earn $4,000 for time Christmas, and she was prepared to invest like 20 hours a week into that. I'm like, man, that's not too difficult to do around that. So, anyone else have any questions? You want the group to answer, feedback, see what other people are doing? So we've got another.
I have a quick question for everyone. How long are you investing time into people or like in that relationship with? So I've got a few people that I've become Facebook friends with, and I know one of my teamies, it took me 6 weeks to get her to say yes, and now she's a teamie. But I'm wondering if I'm spending way too much time investing in relationships, or if everyone's sort of doing that. And I know that it's costing you and Fiona money, Brian, so I guess that's probably a big reason around why I'm doing it as well. But I'm just wondering if I'm going too far in that area of those people that maybe don't,
So my only advice around that is that it's your call, one. And two, if we look at some of the relationships that have been built over the past that took years before the person made a decision to say yes, that became 300 and 400 clubbers under them. So Linda, Adam, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you're building a connection, okay, this is a relationship business, okay? So they haven't got, so why haven't they said yes? It's not the right time for them, okay? Or they don't trust you yet.
Yeah.
Okay? So those two things have to change, okay? Yeah. One is that at some stage, as long as you're building a relationship and connecting with them, when it is right, and you've continuing to talk to them and add value to their life, then they're going to think of you when it is the right time. Two is that you're building trust, building connection with them. And when they trust you, they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to make a decision to move forward. So I don't think there's any right and wrong answer to that.
Length of time. Yeah, I just feel like I am investing a lot of time into mums that aren't quite ready, or something's come up for them, and we've been in conversation, like some of them since March, April, others since May. But I'm just wondering if I'm spending the wrong amount of time in wrong areas, or if everyone else is doing the same, I guess.
Fortunes in the follow-up. So I know Lauren Slocum talks about this with Jeff Roberti. So it was like 10, 12 years or 17 years or something where Jeff made the first connection with Lauren Slocum. And Jeff would always send Lauren flowers and do all these things. Built relationship with her.
Yeah.
So when it was the right time for her, she said yes.
Okay.
And then she brought on Linda and Adam and then there's the story. You know what I mean? So like it is a relationship business. Okay. People are going to trust you. People are going to be ready to go. I don't think there's any right and wrong song. It's a high paying activity.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. Yep. Thank you.
I've got a question. So I've there's the ones that are out on Facebook.
It's really hard to understand you,
they say, all school months. I'm up in the sticks in the mountains. Is that better?
Stop. Go. I'm
in the middle of the car park. I had one, she got on the product and she's like, oh, the product's not working for me. I'm like, okay. And then she said, that she wanted to know more. And so I tried calling her, I tried to get in contact, and then she ended up joining with someone else. And I contacted her. She's like, oh, long lost friend got in touch. And then I was like, yeah, long lost friend. And then there was another one who was keen, and then, her dog died, and then her husband was in a car accident, and I'm not discounting those things. And then all of a sudden she joined this other lady too. And so I have people now, I'm kind of anxious because I think my leads are going to disappear. When I have them on Facebook, I'm connecting with them, I'm commenting on their stuff. When I reach out to them, they don't reply. Should I call them? If they said in March, give me a couple of months, should I be calling them? I've reached out on Facebook because, I'm doing all those kind of things. to reconnect that way, or is that harassing them, being like, hey, I notice you're avoiding me? Obviously not say that, but to call them again as Ellen from Mummy's on a Mission?
Yeah, I think you're investing into them. I think if your heart is that you're going in to add value to the friendship, the relationship, their lives, then calling them on the phone is not against that. You know what I mean? It's not the wrong thing. You're not harassing them. As long as you're calling them to build, to add value, to see how they're going. And the phone is much more powerful than a message because it's so easy to reply to messages. And, I get 1,000 a day. I don't get many phone calls, but and I don't like talking on the phone. It's not something I do. But there are certain people that call me and check in on me, and they're adding value to me. You know what I mean? So if you can get them on the phone, get them on the phone.
Okay.
Jen Garbett, you came off mute before. You had something you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I just wanted to go back to the sales call, I guess, like the follow-up after they've watched a video, after they've watched a link. Because I think, I just want to make sure I'm getting the process right, because I think I'm kind of following like what Adam talks about in training, that once they've watched the video, then ask them, what got them excited about what this could be for them, then what would make them excited what to land in their bank account kind of thing. Yeah. Should I not be asking that a bit about like the financial side at that point? Is that more something we'd ask to start strong?
No, that's right. That's right. So for me, for that phone call, when you're following up, is what did you love about the event? What did you love about the opportunity? Okay. What are you hoping this to be for you?
Yep.
Okay. So we're trying to get their why.
Yep.
Okay. Because we want the pain in their life. What's life like right now?
Yeah.
How much does it suck? Okay. How much pain are you in? Own it. Make them cry as much as you can. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get it out of them, because it's only when they own that why is when they're going to get it out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
What are you hoping this to be for you? I want $1,000 a week. Okay, well, you can share your story or somebody else's story around how long that took to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. What questions do you have?
Yeah.
What else do you want to know to make an excited decision to get started?
Cool. Okay. And then when you do the start strong, do you almost ask those questions again? Because I know like the start strong is all about, getting their YEN, or is it that if I haven't been using Jodie on those start strongs for a while, so I've talked to her and we're going to get her back on them. Would
so
just be
this
because
is what a start strong call looks like to me. Okay, is one, Jen, you made an amazing decision to get started in this business. It's changed my life. It's the best decision I've ever done. The product's changed my life, my family's life, the health, the business has done blah 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 blah. Share a little bit about me. Okay. Because usually I'm not the person who's brought them on. I'm the person that's running the Start Strong. Two is when I first started, I was explained there's 3 elements to success. One is desire. Where do you want to be in 3 months? Where do you want to be in 6 months? Whatever. Jen, I wasn't in on your initial call. I didn't hear why you joined our business. Can you please explain it to me? Because I want them to explain to me why they're in this business and what they want to get out of this business.
Yeah.
Back on their why. Okay. So it's all about desire. Oh, did you know? Now I'm talking a little bit about, did you know we can make $2,000 to $4,000? I'm answering their question about how much money they want to make. And I can share my story, okay, about what they've made it, but I inspire them at what this can be for them. And then I might talk about the game plan chat at that stage and say, okay, well, I've got a video that Laurie's your upline. Laurie's going to send to you afterwards. Okay, and that video is going to explain to you how to make $2,000 to $4,000 in your first 60 to 90 days.
Yeah.
The second element of success is consistency. And when I talk about consistency, we've got 5 high-paying activities. Okay, these activities, if you focus on all day, every day, these are what are going to pay you. 1, social media posting. 2, reaching out. 3, following up, building relationship, following up. 4, events and training, and I talk about the training and events. And 5 is customer care when you have your first customers. Okay? Yep. Now, the third element of success is being teachable. Okay? I joined this business because I saw a system that worked with my uplines. That's the only reason. I saw curiosity. I wanted the success that they had success around. Okay? So I talk about being teachable. We have a system, and our system works like this. We create curiosity through social media posting, or starting conversations. The first 2 high-paying activities, right? We then send them an event. We then follow up. And when they've got questions, we put them in front of the upline. Do you think you can do that, Jen? Yeah, it sounds pretty simple. Awesome. Because we don't want to overcomplicate it. We want to keep this business as simple as possible. And I'm trying to get into, Jen, your head that this is a simple business. And all I need you to do is do social media posting, start conversations. So you're creating curiosity and you're sending an event. Can you do that, Jen? Do you think this business is that simple? Can you do it right now? And Jen's going, yep. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Your job, Jen, is to do that and put people in front of me, or put people in front of Laura, your upline. Okay. So that's the system that we talk about. Okay. Yeah. I then say we have some mantras in our team. Okay, that I like to talk about. The more that you know, the slower you go. Okay, Jen, your job right now is to keep this very simple. You can get overwhelmed with all the content and training and stuff, but we are in a simple business. All you need to do, and I go back over it again, social media post, start conversations, send them an event, put them in front of me. I'm drilling that sales process into these people, okay? The second mantra in our team is that your success, Jen, is your success. Okay, so just let me stop for a sec. Can you see that this is a training call? This is more intense than a sales call.
Yeah.
So your success, Jen, in this business is your success. I'm here to love you, support you, answer your questions, but my job as your upline, as your sponsor, is to empower you as quickly as possible to be independent and be the businesswoman that you want to be, okay? Or business person or whatever.
Yep.
Because it is an independent virtual franchise that you've bought. It's a business that you've bought. Okay, so we want to empower you as quickly as possible. Now, the flip side of that is any failure that you have is your responsibility. You have to own your failure too. Okay, because I don't want people relying on me for their success. And Jen, when you have team, you don't want them relying on you for their success. Okay, so I want them to own that this is their business, that they're responsible for this. I'm here to support them, love on them, but I'm not responsible for their success or failure. And Jen, the only difference between success and failure in this business is you. Okay, so I talk about that. And the other thing that I talk about, and I would have talked about back in the desire stage, is how much time are you ready to invest into this business? How much time can you invest into this business? And I always finish off, Jen, would you like us to help you find your first couple of customers or first team? And Jen goes, yes, awesome. Well, if you bought a coffee franchise or a cafe or a restaurant, you'd have a launching party. You would invite your friends and family around to your cafe, even if they don't like coffee or like the coffee, they're going to come and support you. We do the same thing. We have events that run all week, multiple times through the week. I just need you to share your story for 1 minute on the Zoom, why you got into this business, where life was, what you're looking forward to. Do you think you can do that? Yep, awesome, boom. And we are launching straight out of that. To me, that's what the Start Strong call is. Okay.
I'm joining your business. That was really good. Thanks.
Ryan, what do you do like when you're on the...
So, sorry, I can't remember who was asking. So, Lauren, yes, I have been focused on these for so long now. I'm right at the point now where I'm going to put that training video together so you guys can then go and do it with other people. Okay, so to make sure we're not missing anything.
Ryan, what do you do when you're on the first call and they start asking all those business questions on the first call?
Okay, you're going to answer it. That's good questions part, fortunately. Okay. This is the thing. If they've got questions, you need to answer those questions. You know what I mean? So you need to be at a point where, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how the business has changed my life. These are the answers. And you're doing it on that first call. But it's a sales process at that stage. You know what I mean? It's not training. It's not getting started strong. It's just psychologically, it's two different things. And I think when we bring the two together, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly share something that's been working for me that I'm happy to share? And actually, while you're here, Brian, I might get you to check it's okay. But it's just sort of like a script I use for that first call after they've seen the presentation. And it's been working quite well. And it also helps because because I'm on the phone, I can actually look at it and take notes and stuff like that. Rather than when you're on a Zoom, you sort of, I don't know, I find it much easier to pick up the phone. I just put my earphones in and start taking notes. But I've just got here like their date, their name, just some personal details, which I get to know a bit more about them, how many kids they've got, what if they're working, what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. And then I just basically, so it's very similar to what Brian was just saying and what the scripts are in Team Freedom about the first time Zoom, but I've sort of just added to it so I can run through it. And I think it's making the prospect very comfortable. So I'll share it, and if I can get some feedback, that'd be amazing. And then if that's okay, I can share it with you guys. But so I just say what gets you interested in the business based on what you've seen so far. And if they say, oh, the product, I really try and shift it back to the business. Oh, okay, I'm really excited you love the product. Can you tell me, you know, how you see the business fitting into your life? And then I share what got me involved. So I talk about how I'm a single mum. I was just on Centrelink, blah, 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 blah. Now I can pick my kids up from school, do all that fun stuff. And then I say, like, I talk about money. So I say what amount of money, you know, would put a smile on your face if it landed in your bank account. And then I talk about what that amount means for them. So they might say, oh, look, that'd just pay my rent every week or whatever it might be. And I write that down so I can go back to it. So after I've spoken about that, I just say, so I'm basically trying to answer their questions before they ask. So I just say, look, it's only $165 to join. You can make it back in your first 10 days. Your approximate income within 10 days is around about $280, and that's with your own product order, one other possible order, and then your first bonus. And then I just talk about how it's a 4 to 5 year career. It's certainly not a get rich quick thing. And then I say, you know, people who are very active in the business can generally expect around $1,000 a week after the 8-month mark, some more, some less. And then talk about being active. So teachable, following the system, simple system, and then talk about what Brian just spoke about. So creating curiosity, send an event, follow up and chat, consistency, plugging in, and vision and desire. And then I share a bit about my vision and what, you know, I want this business to be for me. And then I add in there that the only way to fail is to not get started strong or just to give up. Then I ask what questions or what do you need to know more about? And then they usually say, what do I need to do? You know, what's the next step? Or they might have some other questions. And then I just say, look, to get started, we just need to order your product and get a few details to put your franchise in. And then we plug you into our Facebook groups and, you know, get you to go over the Getting Started guide. And I say we can help you do your first couple of posts if you want. And then I just really say I'm here to support you for as long as you need, but you need to create your own success. So I'm sort of planting that in their mind already, like I'm not going to do it for you, but I don't go too much into that. And then I've been saying, which is working, I've been saying, do you have any other questions, or are you ready to get started? And that's been working for me. So I don't know what your thoughts are around that.
My only thoughts would be sharing too much around the business side of things. Like, the system is awesome, as in I would only talk about the UTR, so use the product, talk about, recommend the product, and talk about keeping it simple, as in this business is simple for these reasons, okay? All you need to do is do social media posting, start conversations, send them an event. Can you send a link? Do you know how to copy and paste the link and send it to people? So they're going, yes, and put them in front of me. Do you think you can do that? Boom, that's it. That's what you need to know in this business. Because in all honesty, that's all they need to know in this business. We complicate it by having to understand compensation plans and be expert around product and everything. So I think if you can just focus more around keeping it really simple, talking about that system, the sales funnel system, then probably don't need to go into too much else about the business. But I think the rest of it's great. And then putting it in your own words and in your own routine is making it you. You know, at the end of the day, you're building connection by doing that. Anyone else have any questions or comment around it? Yeah. Look, guys, to me, if we just step away from it, have a look from a helicopter looking down, one is a sales call. one is a training call, okay? And psychologically, it's two different things, and you need to be two different people. One is inspiring them, keeping it simple, inspiring them what it can be for them. And the other is now you're coming in as their coach. You're coming in as their, someone that's really going to train them on how to do this. Okay, and it's hard to do that in one course. So I try not to mix the two together as much as possible. Give them enough of information about what this process is. Social media posting, can you do that? I'm going to give you all the resources you need to know to do that. 2 is, can you start conversations? I'm actually going to give you all the training you need around how to start conversations. Send them an event. Well, copy and paste the link and how to do that. And 3, all you need to do is put them in front of me, and I'm going to answer all their questions and inspire them to join your team. Boom. Can you do it? Yes? Great. This business is for you.
You make it sound so easy, Brian.
That's awesome.
But thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Everyone's got to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job, guys.